Hello Year 5, welcome to your maths lesson on the 1st of March. Today we're going to be looking at volume, so another branch of measurement. I'm just going to start off with total recall. All of our total recall is true or false today and links to your learning that you did last week. So 1,000 kilometres equals 1 metre. Is that true or false? My book measures 430 millimetres. My book measures 4.3 centimetres. My book measures 0.43 metres. These books are all the same length. Is that true or false? And then we've got a set of scales, and the scales are balanced. That means that both weights on the scale should be equal. So we've got 1 kilometre is equal to how many grams? Well, you might know the answer of what should make it equal, but each triangle is 20 grams. So you need to tell me, are 5 triangles the same weight as 1 kilogram? So pause the screen and have a go at your true or false. Let's go through the answers. So it's false. 1,000 metres is 1 kilometre, not 1,000 kilometres is 1 metre. And the second one is also false because 430 millimetres and 0.43 metres and 4.3 centimetres are not all the same measurements. Then you've got false for the third one. The pink box is equal to 5 green boxes as the scales are balanced. So we need the 1 kilogram to equal 1,000 grams. Well, 1,000 grams divided by 5 is 200 grams. So each triangle should have weighed 200 grams, not 20 grams. Well done if you got all of those right. Some of those were a bit tricky, so don't worry if you didn't. Okay, today's lesson is all about volume, and volume is the amount of space inside a 3D shape. You can work out the volume of a shape by multiplying the height, the width and the depth, and you're going to concentrate on doing this in Year 6. Year 5 is just an introduction to volume, and you're going to be measuring it in cubes. So if the shape is made of cubic centimetre blocks, so I want you to think back to when you were last at school, the little cubes that we use for maths, they are 1 centimetre cube blocks. Okay, and the work that you're going to look at today is going to involve looking at those shapes. So if the shape is made up of cubic centimetre blocks, you can count the cubes to find the volume of the shape. Okay, so 1 cube is 1 centimetre cubed. That little 3 stands for cubed. Do you remember the little 2 stands for squared? Well, this stands for cubed. Now, what I want you to think of is a 3D shape. Okay, 3D actually means 3-dimensional. So a 2D shape, a 2-dimensional shape, just has a height and a length. You just see the front of the shape, don't you? Where a 3D shape, a 3-dimensional shape, has height, length and depth. It goes back. So here you can see, let me show you. Here you can see that it has depth. It goes back. Okay, so a 2D shape would just have height and length. Okay, so it's got 2 dimensions, but a 3-dimensional shape, a 3D shape, goes back as well, so it has depth. So make the link with 3-dimensional and cubed. Okay, so 1 cube, it's a 3D shape, is 1 centimetre cubed, which is the little 3. Okay. So calculating volume when you can see all the cubes. So this is quite a nice task. So bronze today, and I suggest everybody starts through bronze because the tasks aren't too long today, so you might do bronze, silver, gold and maybe even challenge as well. So to calculate the volume when you can see all the shapes, all we need to do is count up the cubes. Now be careful, I'm not telling you to count the faces, the sides of the shapes, I'm telling you to count the whole cube. Okay, so this would be 1 whole cube. Can you see there? So that's 1 cube, 2 cubes. So we can only see the face of that cube, one side of it, but that's still a cube under there. So 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cubes, 4 cubes. Okay, so it's 4 centimetres. And then don't forget that because we're measuring volume, And I'm telling you that the cubes are centimetre cubes, so you can use centimetre. If we were looking at metre cubes, then each face would be a metre tall and a metre wide and a metre depth. Okay, but we're just looking at centimetre cube today. So you need to remember to pop centimetres and then the little 3 above it. Okay, so the answer for this shape is 4 centimetres cubed. So let's have a look at this one. Just change the colour of my pen because it's purple. Let's go yellow. So we've got 1 cube up here. Not just one face, 1 cube. We can only see one face of this cube, but we know that it's under there. So that's 1, 2. Again, we can see 2 sides of this face, of this cube, but we can't see the other faces. But we know that that's still a cube. We're not going to count that as 1 cube and that as 1 cube. So we've got 1, 2, 3 cubes, 4 cubes. There's another cube over there, 5 cubes, 6 cubes. So the volume of the purple 3D shape is 6 centimetres cubed. Okay, because it has 6 cubes that make it up. So the biggest thing I can tell you there is remember you're counting whole cubes, 3D shapes. Think like dice. You think you're counting whole dice, not just the faces. Okay, but what if you can't see all the cubes? That's going to make life a little bit more tricky because you've got to kind of imagine where they are. Well, there is a trick we can use. So in this cuboid, this shape here, it's got 2 layers, isn't it? So if we calculate how many cubes are in one layer, which we can see all of the top layer, we could then do something to calculate the second part. So I'm just going to show you, look, if I lift this up, you can actually see both layers and all the cubes now. So that's kind of for silver and gold today. You need to think about splitting your shapes up so that you can visualize in your head and see all of the cubes. Okay, so let's just count the cubes on one layer. Remember, we're counting cubes and not faces. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, what operation could we use then to solve this, this volume problem? Well, we've got 10 cubes on the bottom and we've got 2 layers, so we could just do 10 times 2. So the answer would be 20 centimetres cubed. Or you could have done 10, add 10, 2 groups of 10, repeat addition to get 20 centimetres cubed. But just be careful there that actually sometimes we can't see all the cubes, we can't see the ones that are right at the back, but you might need to sort of lift it and visualise that shape a little bit today. So that's an example of the silver questions today. There's a separate gold task which is very similar to this. It's called the volume riddle. And in that task, you need to work out the volume of the shapes, and they're all cuboids like this. So you're going to have to use this method of counting one layer and then multiplying it by how many layers you've got to work out how many cubes. Now, in the volume riddle, it gives you lots of different pictures, and each picture is a different letter. And then at the bottom, there's lots of different answers, and you need to match the picture with the answer and you'll solve the riddle. But I'd like you to do bronze and silver before you move on to gold. Okay, there's one question on silver, question 6, that's a bit tricky. So you've got the permission from me, give it a go, have a bit of fun. There's absolutely no pressure with this question. Okay, it's very difficult for you. If we were in school, I'd be saying, here's 10 cubes, make the shapes. Okay, but I can't give you all 10 cubes at the minute, so you're going to have to go on to the drawing bit. Now, but just have a go. It doesn't matter if you don't get it right. If you print the sheet, you'll be able to draw on the isometric paper down here, and I've just shown you how to draw a 3D cube. Okay, so you make your square at the bottom there, and then you go up, up. I might just show you again with pen. So you make you would use a ruler, obviously. You join the dots like this. Then you go up for the sides. So if you think of it like you've got your base already, and then you join the bits back there. That is how you would draw a cube. So it's saying to you, see if you can put 10 cubes next to each other to make a different shape. But like I say, have a go. There's absolutely no pressure. If you're working in your book today, then you can have a go at drawing the 3D shapes. See if you can get 10 cubes together to make a shape. But again, no pressure. If it doesn't go well, or you have a go and you think this isn't working for me, then just leave that question out. I should be using a ruler. But I'm just trying to show you how you draw that when you're in your book. So when you're in your book, you start with just the square you've got and you go back diagonally, join those two together, then down and back diagonally. You're basically creating that depth, aren't you? You're drawing a square and creating the depth and joining them up. Okay, so question 6, give it a go, but no pressure. So today, questions 1 to 3 are bronze. Silver is doing all 1 to 6. Now the questions are quite quick and easy. In your book today, you're just going to be, for 1 to 3, you just need to count the cubes and write your answer. So I'm expecting you to get through bronze and silver quite quickly. I'd really like it if most of you get onto gold today and have a go at that volume riddle, which is quite fun and again shouldn't take you too long. And then there's challenge is calculating the volume in irregular shapes. I'm just going to show you a little bit more about challenge for you to have a go at. All of the sheets and answers are in the Files tab on Teams in the teacher support page. So let's go through and I'll show you what challenge is today. So you've got, you've got an irregular shape. Okay, now in bronze today, there's some irregular shapes, but you can see all of the cubes, which makes it easier. Your irregular shapes, you can't see all of the cubes and some of them get quite complex. So to work out this, you'd have to think to yourself, how am I going to find the answer? Now, you can see quite a few of the cubes on here. Let's go back to my pen actually. We know that it's got a face here, but there's a cube underneath there. So if we count the bottom layer, 1, 2, 3. Now there's 3 across, so you could start to move into gold a little bit here. There's 3 cubes that go across this shape, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes that go lengthways in this shape. So if we did 4 times 3, we'd know that there's 12 cubes under there. Okay, if you're going to count the cubes, be careful, because this cube here, it's just one cube, isn't it? We can just see 2 faces of it. Okay, so you can do 3 times 4 to get the bottom layer. Once you've got the bottom layer, you can then times it by 2, so that you can have 2 lots of that layer. Let me show you here. So 3 times 4 is 12, that gives you the base layer. If we times 12 by 2, so it give you a second full layer, second complete layer, that would be 24. And then you could subtract 4 because you can actually see that there's 4 cubes missing. So you could do 24 take away 4 would give you 20 because there's 4 cubes missing from that second layer. Or you could have done 3 times 4 is 12 and then added 13, 14, let me get my pen, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So you could have just added on the extra cubes. So try and look for the layers for challenge and then either add on your extra cubes or multiply layers and subtract cubes that are missing. Okay, so that's an example of challenge today. Remember, I'd really like you to get through all of the tasks before you just go straight to challenge. But that's the end of the lesson today. All the answers are in Teams and the teacher support page, and all of the questions are there as well. Have a great day, Year 5, and enjoy counting cubes. Bye.